What's good, teacups? Welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new, my name is T. Welcome to Cooking with T. Today, I'm going to be making one of my favorite salads ever, top 5, super classic, and it is a Ahi Tuna Niçoise salad. A Tuna Niçoise salad is a classic French salad, usually made with a confit tuna or canned tuna and olive oil. But today, I'm going to be making it with a Ahi tuna because I had some beautiful Ahi Tuna Steaks and they're absolutely gorgeous. So I think this is gonna be the perfect way to celebrate them in a salad. The recipe is gonna be down below in the deets. Make sure you guys give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and let's get into it. So we got some homegrown lettuces that we're going to cut and pick. And then we got our green beans. I couldn't find any cloves. I like French green beans, but these will do. I got some little baby red potatoes. We got some beautiful Ahi tuna steaks. We got some nice farm fresh eggs, olives, capers, shallots, garlic, anchovies, parsley, tomatoes. All right, y'all. Let's do it. All right, so first things first for this salad, we're gonna go ahead and get our blanching water going because we have to cook out our potatoes, we have to cook out our green beans, we have to boil our eggs, and that's all gonna be done in the pot. So I'm gonna get that going, and then we're gonna get into prepping some of the veggies. So we're gonna start today by taking care of our greeny beanies. So like I said, I couldn't find any cloves, but this is gonna be fine. I mean, these look pretty healthy. We're just gonna take the ends off. I'm gonna make sure you just cut all the ends off. You can kind of keep this little piece on. I don't mind that. I don't mind that little piece that's right there. But you definitely want to remove where it came from, where it was growing from, because that part is really, really, really tough. So just cut it off. I like to cut it at a bias. I'm going to continue to cut these. Cut, and then we're going to cut until everything is cleaned off pretty much. The green beans are clean now, and we're just going to go ahead and cut them at a bias. If they're small, go ahead and just cut it in half. If they're really long, I mean, you can go in thirds. We're going to continue this step until all of our green beans are cut. All right, so now that the green beans are cut, I'm just going to set them aside into a bowl. All right, now we're going to take our shallot and our garlic and remove this end off of the shallot. And then you want to get as fine as you possibly can, depending on like your preference for shallots. I personally love shallots. This is one of my favorite alliums. And we're just gonna go ahead and finely chop it. All right, so I'm just gonna continue to chop it. This looks about good to me. This looks solid. I'm gonna go ahead and pop it into this little ramekin. All right, now I'm gonna take our garlic and just slice it, and then we're gonna go ahead and give it a chop as well. This is gonna be going into our dressing, so I'm gonna pop this into the same bowl as our shallots. Sounds like the water is boiling, which is great. Okay, so my nose is a little runny from those shallots. I'm gonna pop that in with our shallots. It's gonna all go into our salad dressing. So that's gonna kick it over there. I'm gonna take my potatoes. As you can see, we got some patates. All right, y'all, so peep this. I got my water boiling like cray cray. I'm just gonna go ahead and pop in my potatoes. Oops, there we go. Pop it in the potatoes, and I'm gonna set my timer for about 9 minutes to start, and then I'm gonna check it, and I'm gonna move back to amazing things because we do things simultaneously. All right, speaking of simultaneously doing things, potatoes are definitely the first thing you wanna blanch or cook because you want to make sure that they're cold before you add them into the salad. So we're going to cook the potatoes, we're going to slice them, and then we're going to blanch the green beans, shock them, and then we're going to cook the eggs, shock them, and then yeah, it's all about like how systematic we're gonna be making the salad, because we don't want warm veggies in a salad. That's nasty, especially something like this. Not this kind of salad. All right, going back to what we're doing. Peep game, please, peep game, because I'm giving it to y'all for free. So now I'm gonna take a bowl and I'm going to be adding our anchovy oil into this bowl. I love anchovies, so feel free to adjust this because I always add extra anchovies. So please feel free to adjust. I have like 6 little fillets of anchovies right here, plus the oil. So I'm just gonna chop it a little bit. And also, we also have to keep in mind the salt for this, because we have lots of olives, we have capers, and we have anchovies, and that's like just hella salty. So just be careful about how much salt you're seasoning everything with. You don't want this to be really salty. All right, so I got my anchovies in there. I'm gonna go ahead and add in my garlic and my shallots. I'm gonna go ahead and just give this a nice little mixy mix. I'm gonna go ahead and add in a little bit of apple cider vinegar, a few tablespoons. Let that kind of sit and soak in there. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add some mustard. This is gonna help emulsify this vinaigrette. And now we're gonna go ahead and add in some olive oil. Yum, yum, yum. I like a nice chunky vinaigrette. And that's why I really love mustards in my dressings, because they always add for like a nice body. And then I'm gonna add some parsley into this dressing as well. I am a huge fan of fresh cracked black pepper, so I'm gonna go a little cray-cray with the pepper on this. About a half a teaspoon, I believe. Ooh, it smells so good. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and give this a taste and see what the vibes are. So I'm gonna check the vibes, taste it. That's bomb. I think it needs a little bit more olive oil. Just a touch. Now that this is mixed up, we're gonna go ahead and set this aside and give it another taste right before we start to build our salad, to make sure the vinaigrette is still where we want it to be at. So I'm gonna pop this aside. All right, so I got this bowl here, and I have a pod of lettuce from my little like arrow garden thing here that grows herbs and stuff. I think it's really cool way for me to grow my lettuces in my apartment. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut some lettuces into my bowl. So we got some lettuces. These are gonna be going back into the pod because they'll continue to sprout. And I got some more lettuce here that I'm gonna be adding to the bowl as well. Just look at this big, beautiful bowl of lettuce. Love that. That's a vibe. Now that we have our lettuces all cut up here, I'm gonna go ahead and fill this bowl of lettuce with ice cold water. All right. Oops. Okay, so that sounds like the potatoes. I'm gonna check the potatoes. All right, y'all. So the potatoes are still going. I added a few more minutes to them. You wanna make sure that like the potatoes are still tender and toothy. You don't wanna make sure they're mashed at all. All right, we don't want mashed potatoes. We wanna make, because this is going into a salad, so you wanna make sure that it's still like given some texture, all right? We want some texture in these potatoes still. I added some ice water into this lettuce to make the lettuce really, really crispy. We call this shocking, all right? We call this shocking our lettuce. I want my lettuce to have some tooth to it. I don't want it to be all soggy and limp. That's not cute. So we have our tomatoes chopped up. We have our green beans working. Now time to talk about this beautiful tuna. Look at this fresh tuna that I have right here. It's beautiful. It's just absolutely gorgeous, and we're here for it, right? So I'm gonna season this tuna on both sides with some salt. Like I said, I don't wanna go cray-cray on the salt because There's lots of salty components in the salad. So I'm gonna salt it on both sides pretty lightly. Just like this. Perfect. And then we're gonna set this aside. Look at that. Ooh, this yay. All right, teacup. So I have taken the potatoes out of the boiling water and added them into some ice water. And the ice looks melted because the potatoes are really, really hot. The boiling water is still going very, very rapidly, as you can see. I'm gonna take some of the green beans that we cut earlier, and I'm just gonna pop them into that same water. I mean, like, why would you not? I don't know. I don't really feel like taking it out and bringing it all the way back up. I'm gonna go ahead and set my timer on the green beans for 3 minutes to start. You do not want the green beans to be mushy at all. You want them to be still somewhat raw in a sense. You want them to have bite to them. You do not want them to be mushy at all. So after 3 minutes, I'm gonna do the same thing, take them out of the boiling water and then shock them into ice water. And we're almost there. We're gonna sear some tuna right afterwards, and then we're gonna eat this fire salad. And it's super simple to make, and you guys are gonna see how amazing this is gonna look. All right, BRB. So the green beans have finished being blanched and shocked. They're shocking currently. Currently shocking the green beans. What's happening next is we're gonna go ahead and add in our eggs into this boiling water. I wanna cook the eggs for at least 7 minutes. I don't like my yolks all the way cooked through. I like them to be a little bit jammy in the middle. So I'm gonna go 7 minutes. So now we're gonna get into searing our tuna steaks. All right, we have our pan really, really hot here. I'm gonna go ahead and add some neutral oil into the pan, just like this. You really wanna make sure this pan is ripping hot. I know it seems kind of cray-cray, but in order for it to get a nice, beautiful sear, it's gotta be screaming. All right, let's just go for it. All right, so we're gonna go ahead. First tuna steak. Okay. Yum. So you want to make sure you're cooking these for about a minute on each side, no more than that. I like mine about a medium rare, and they're gonna carry on cooking throughout since they're really, really warm. Ooh, it smells so good. Ah, I love tuna. I love tuna. So after about a minute, we're gonna flip it over. Ooh, look at that one. That one looks freaking bomb. Y'all look pretty good, but this one right here, perfect. So another minute on each side, and then we're gonna take them off and allow them to rest. All right, I'm gonna take our tuna steaks out of this hot pan now. And we're gonna go ahead and go over to our plating area. So I'm gonna take our potatoes that we boiled earlier, and we're just gonna go ahead and slice them. Feel free to cut them however you want to. You can even do like little dices. You could do wedges like this, you know, something like that. That looks good too. I'm just trying to be careful to not tear the skin too much. So we're gonna continue to slice our potatoes. It's okay if they break a little bit. You just don't want them to be like completely mushy. You still want them to have some integrity, you know, like you want to look at it and be like, all right, that's a potato. I could tell what that is. I'm gonna go ahead and just hit them with a little bit of fresh cracked pepper. And then we're gonna set these aside. All right, so I have my eggs that have been shocked and boiled. I'm just gonna go ahead and peel them. If you find a little membrane under the shell, it's best to peel them under cold water actually. So we got our eggs. So I'm just gonna go ahead and crack all of our eggs and peel them. And then once they're peeled, we're gonna go ahead and start to slice our tuna and build our salad. So we're gonna take our tuna steaks now that have been resting, and we're just gonna slice them oh yeah, look at that. Can we see that? I love a nice seared tuna like this. Depending on how thick you want your slices, I mean, I think this is the perfect thickness. You don't want it to be really, 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 really big. Ooh. Mmm. Yum. Look at that. Absolutely delicious. Next. If you don't like it as pink, cook it a little bit longer. Maybe go 2 minutes on each side. But you definitely don't want to overcook this kind of fish. It'll get really, really tough really quickly. And it's also really, really delicate. So you want to make sure when you're slicing it, your knife is really, really sharp. Yes, the end piece. Let us get plating, can we please? Because I'm hungry. All right, so now that we have all of the tuna cut up and looking gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, I'm just gonna take it and pop it back the same plate that we had it resting on. And set this aside for a second, give my cutting board a wipe down. Make sure everything's still nice and clean. Wipe my cutting board down. And now we're gonna take our plate of choice that we're gonna use. Then we're gonna take our salad bowl that we're gonna be mixing our salad in. And I'm gonna take some of those greens that we had shocked and drained earlier. Just some of them, you know. I'm also gonna add some arugula in because I love arugula, it's really peppery. And I have it on hand, so I also think it'll bulk up the salad some, so that's another reason why. I'm gonna go ahead and just mix this up really nicely. So we got our dressing here. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a little mixy mix. Taste it. Still tastes absolutely gas. I'm gonna add a little bit of dressing to the bottom of the plate for beautifying purposes, but also as well into our mixed greens here. Then every proper Niçoise salad has to have, well, these are not Niçoise olives, but I'm adding some black olives in here. I love olives. I'm gonna be adding some capers as well. Love those as well. And then I have some beautiful tomatoes. Add just a little bit of tomato up in that thing. Our beautifully blanched greeny beanies. Oops, one landed perfectly beautifully there. And then as far as the potatoes and eggs, I'm gonna pop those on top. I don't wanna mix them into this bowl with this lettuce right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a mixy mix. A little bit of taste, yum. I'm actually going to hit that with a little bit of pepper and a tiny pinch of salt. All right. And from here, we're going to take some lettuce and go down on the plate like that. And I'm gonna take some of the goodies because they're gonna go to the bottom because obviously they're heavier. And then at this point, I'm gonna take some potatoes, a few potatoes, and place them in there as well. I'm gonna dress those potatoes just a little bit, because we didn't mix them in there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and continue the rest of the greens, olives, tomatoes, green beanies. I like to build some height in my salads. And then again, just a few more potatoes. You can see what's going on in there. And then from here, I like to, very, very lastly, the last thing I like to do is do my egg, because I know for a fact that I like my eggs runnier than typical. And I don't want to cut these out too soon, because if I cut them out too soon, then hey, you know, we're gonna have yolkage everywhere. So just like that, I like my eggs nice and jammy, super pretty like that. You could cut it again. Do I want to cut it again? Do I want to cut it again, T? Does T want to cut it again? I don't think she does because she would have done it already. So I'm going to add an egg there. I'm also going to take my tuna now and kind of just fan out this beautiful piece of tuna that we have. Just like this, right on top. My egg is falling all over the place. And then from here, I'm going to go one more egg. Dress the tuna. Dress that tuna up. And then there we have it. Super easy, super simple weeknight dinner. Hit those eggs with a little bit of, look at that, pretty. All right, y'all, just like that. Period, boo. Ahi Tuna Niçoise. Look at my eggs. They're moving all over the place. Looks great though. Yum. Piece of tuna, potato, little lettuce up in there. Look at that. Mmm. Period. Period. Like, who doesn't love a Niçoise salad? Like, are you kidding me? It has everything you need. It's herby, that allium-y, that fishy, funky anchovy-ness. We got funks from the capers. Nice, beautiful piece of ahi tuna. Veggies. Green beans are still perfectly cooked. I love Niçoise. Classic, delicious, so simple to make. This is easily one of my favorite weeknight dinners, period. Let's get into that jammy egg. All right, so it's simple, it's healthy, it's super quick to make, and it's hitting all of the points that we need for the perfect weeknight dinner, all right? And it's like what? Who doesn't want to make this? It's classic. It's so freaking good. Top 5 salads, for sure. Recipe is going to be down below in the deets. Make sure if you guys make this beautiful recipe, take a photo, tag me on IG, share it with your friends and your loved ones. And until next time, peace, love, and blessings.